Before we begin, take 1 second right now. If you respect real history, real money, and real stories that most people never hear, hit subscribe. What you're about to see isn't hype. It's not fantasy. It's the kind of story that hides in plain sight. The kind of story that sits in drawers, jars, and old collections while the world walks right past it. Now imagine this: a single coin. Small, quiet, almost invisible. No gold shine screaming for attention. No diamonds. No luxury branding. Just a simple 1 cent coin from South Africa, dated 1984. Most people would look at it and toss it aside without a second thought. Some might even laugh. 1 cent? Worthless. Forgotten. Dead money. That's exactly why this story matters. Because history doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes history whispers. And sometimes those whispers turn into thunder. The year 1984 was not an ordinary year in South Africa. It was a country under pressure, under watch, under strain. The world was changing fast. Economies were shifting. Political tension was thick in the air. Decisions made behind closed doors would shape generations. And while people argued, protested, negotiated, and fought for the future, something else was happening quietly, mechanically, day after day. Coins were being struck, metal pressed into shape, dates stamped, symbols locked in place forever. That 1 cent coin was never meant to be special. It was designed for everyday life. For bread, for newspapers, for small exchanges between working men, shopkeepers, fathers providing for families, boys running errands. It passed through thousands of hands without ceremony. It lived in pockets, tills, and ashtrays. It fell between couch cushions. It rolled under car seats. It was ignored. But here's what most people don't understand, and this is where the story turns. Value is not always about size. Value is about timing, survival, and meaning. Every coin is a snapshot of a nation at a specific moment in time. The metal, the design, the year, the conditions under which it was made. In 1984, South Africa was at a crossroads. International pressure was mounting. Sanctions were tightening. Internal resistance was growing stronger. The economy was being pulled in different directions at once. That means coins from this period are more than currency. They are physical witnesses, and witnesses are rare. Think about how many 1 cent coins were destroyed, melted, lost, or discarded over the decades. Think about how many were damaged beyond recognition. Think about how many were simply forgotten and thrown away when inflation made small change feel useless. Now think about survival. A coin that survives untouched, well-preserved, unchanged, carries something powerful. It carries proof. Proof that it lived through uncertainty. Proof that it endured policy changes, monetary reforms, and economic shifts. Proof that it existed when the world around it was unstable. Men understand this instinctively. Men understand tools that last. Machines that still run after decades. Watches passed from father to son. Old rifles, old cars, old photographs. Objects that outlive the chaos around them. That's what this coin represents. The 1984 South Africa 1 cent coin sits at the intersection of economy, politics, and everyday life. It represents a time when money still had weight in the hand, when physical currency mattered, when a nation's identity was literally stamped into metal. And here's the part that separates casual viewers from serious thinkers. Not all coins from that year are equal. Some were struck differently. Some experienced subtle variations. Some survived in conditions that most never did. Some escaped circulation early. Some were stored unknowingly in places where time couldn't touch them. And history rewards the survivors. Collectors don't chase coins because they are old. They chase them because they are rare in the right way. Because they tell a story that cannot be repeated. Because no modern mint can recreate the exact conditions of 1984. You can copy a design. You can fake a date. But you cannot recreate the moment. That moment is locked inside this coin. Now imagine a man in his 40s or 50s watching this video. He remembers 1984. He remembers the news, the global tension, the conversations at the table. He remembers using coins like this without thinking twice. And now, decades later, he's being told that something he once ignored might be one of the most misunderstood pieces of monetary history. That's not nostalgia. That's realization. And realization is powerful because once you understand that value isn't always obvious, you start asking better questions. You start looking differently at the past. You start wondering what else has been overlooked. This is why serious collectors are patient. They don't rush. They don't chase trends. They wait for the world to catch up. And sometimes, the world catches up all at once. When a coin like this re-enters the conversation, it's not because of luck. It's because enough time has passed for truth to rise. Research deepens. Records resurface. Demand concentrates. And suddenly, something that once sat forgotten becomes the center of attention. Men who understand legacy understand this moment. Because legacy isn't about flash. It's about endurance. This coin didn't survive because it was valuable. It became valuable because it survived. And we're only halfway through the story. Before we reach the end, before we reveal why this particular coin has shaken expectations and rewritten assumptions, you need to understand one thing clearly. The biggest mistake people make with historical coins is assuming the past is finished. It isn't. The past is still being evaluated, still being reassessed, still being priced. And sometimes, the final number shocks everyone. I'll stop here for now.